Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Yeah. So we are back on the topic, another topic for this week. And before we go into that, for those who are new to our channel, yeah, this is the place where we share topics that are very close to our hearts, especially in the area of entrepreneurship and leadership, right? So we
Yes.
talk about courage and confidence and clarity as well. So this is a place that you will get nuggets of thoughts, nuggets of takeaways and learnings from different ones, right? Different ones in the marketplace.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Carol, what are we going to chat about today?
Ooh, today's topic is may be a little bit heavy for some because it
Mm-hmm.
requires you to to look within your heart. For the audience out there, yeah, you need to look
Mm-hmm.
in within your heart and actually it is a form of awareness as well. Also for you to do a little bit of a self check on where you are right now. Right. So the
Okay,
topic
job check.
self check. Yes, the topic we're going to talk about is performance and
Mm-hmm.
purpose.
Performance and purpose.
Yeah, the
Right.
two major P's.
Performance and purpose.
Yeah.
All right. For those of you who are tuning in, performance versus purpose. Let me just key this in very quickly. uh yeah, if you can, go share this video to this channel into your Facebook profile, or I think only Facebook profile, right? You can
Mm.
share from the YouTube here,
Yeah.
right? So do a little bit of sharing.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, coming back to your definition about what's your definition and distinction, right? We want to talk
Mhm.
about the definition and distinction between performance and purpose.
Yeah.
Wow, the two P's. Let's let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Performance and purpose.
Mm,
Yeah, what's your definition? Well, my definition and distinction about performance. I mean, as the words really suggest, performance is like how well you do, right? It's
mm,
for me, this word has always been in my corporate world. It has been attached to how well I do. It will affect my year end bonus, and it's
mm,
also like a nod, to myself of how far I've achieved the company's objectives, not personal objective, but
mm.
company's
A
objective.
company's objective. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then purpose, well, to me, it would be, why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thinking back in during my corporate days,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but there's not much purpose. Well, the purpose about working is okay, earning, making an income, right, and then paying the bills, and that's about it.
Right.
So it's like going through this rat race over and over again. Going to work, and then yeah, getting a paycheck at end of the month. Yeah, so that was actually the so-called purpose. So life purpose wasn't that. It was just okay, paying a means to pay the bills. So in terms of
Mm.
aspiration on going further and all, there wasn't very much in terms of existence. In terms of my purpose. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So I think I can resonate a bit with that. Before when we were younger, we all started out uh, climbing the corporate ladder, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
So mine was short. Yeah, I really didn't like the corporate world, as in um I just can't fit into that setting,
Mm.
of 9 to 5, and in that cubicle. I mean, was given a very nice desk and all that. I mean, with all due respect to those who are working in the corporate world, because every personality, different ones have
Mm.
different preference and personality, right? Yeah. For me, I just couldn't sit still
Mm.
in the office. Yeah. And that's one thing, right? There are times where I was like standing and working, and then
Mhm.
my manager will walk out and like, why are you standing? And then I will be like taking a lot of short breaks. I will be like going to the pantry, I'll be like walking around. I just couldn't sit still.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think that's the physiological part and
Mm.
personality part of me. So whenever I remember when I was working in IRAS, right?
Yeah.
um, and doing valuation. It's like all about numbers, isn't it?
Mm.
And when there's any opportunity to go on site, I'll be the first one to raise my hand.
So can't wait to get out.
Yes, I can't wait to get out. It was like, yeah, it wasn't in my memory
Mhm.
to being trapped. To me, I felt trapped.
Mm.
That's my personal experience. Okay,
Yeah.
so I felt trapped in the office, in
Mm.
an office
Mm.
space, yeah, within the four walls. So it just wasn't for me. Yeah. So but I did my best, to stay as long as I could, and the long is only like 1 year. Yeah. So, but in that environment, it was the performance base wasn't so much on the sales figure because it's the government sector, right? So
Mm.
we were doing valuation. So it's more on the performance was based on more on your results,
Mm.
just
Mm.
KPI, And but when I went into the sales environment,
Mm.
well, that's when uh, that's when the numbers comes in terms
Mm.
of performance. It's
Yeah.
all about targets, it's always about target sales and
Yeah.
numbers. Yeah, hitting that, like you mentioned, the target of whoever set the target for you.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was to me my experience in the past about performance
Mm.
and how many cases we close, how many projects we get, how many accounts we get. Yeah, so that's very, very performance driven. Yeah, I don't remember thinking about purpose during that time.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's why I say I can resonate that with you.
Mm.
But of course, when it comes to performance, purpose, it's a totally different
Yeah.
mindset now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not about me anymore.
Mm.
It's not even about the numbers anymore. Yeah, it's about value. To me, it was about value, as in like how can I add value in the other person's life,
Hmm.
through the service or products or services or business that I'm providing.
Yeah.
How can I add value into your life, meet your needs, and provide that solutions for you to solve your problem. Yeah,
Hmm.
so it's a very different experience when
Yeah.
you have these two this what you call it, awareness about performance versus purpose.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. But now that you mentioned, right, it really triggers a lot of past memories
Mm,
about the whole transition, right, for me as an employee, into
mm,
entrepreneurship. Having been in a set environment for, well, I mean, I've been in corporate for about 17 years, close to
mm-hmm,
20 years. So the mindset for me at that
mm,
time was kind of basically stuck, right? Stuck. It's
mm,
like it's like in order to gauge how
mm-hmm,
much I'm actually getting end of the year. If I'm going to get a pay raise, if I'm going to get a promotion, it's all attached
mm,
to my performance. So, and then that
right.
that has kind of like it's a set in order for me to gauge my overall success end of the day, and then that
Mm,
transition into entrepreneurship, and then I
mm-hmm.
attach that to 100% performance, how much I'm being paid.
Yes. How
Yes,
much are being paid? There's
yeah.
another KPI, another measurement, right?
Yeah, which is, it's performance measurement, which is actually the
Mm,
KPIs really, right? How much I'm
mm,
being paid. And then, the
mm,
purpose, then I actually forgot along the way why I went into entrepreneurship in the first place. The why.
mm,
Because the purpose, right? Because there's always a transition, right? So
mm,
I wasn't happy in corporate because I knew I kind of like reached my ceiling. There's always this
mm,
certain glass ceiling when it comes in the corporate environment, especially for women over age of 30 years old. Even though, okay, people out there in the market say now in terms of such thing, it doesn't happen, but for me, it felt like that. I reached my ceiling. There's no way I can't
mm,
break through anymore. That's it. And then and I started to think back. Okay, okay, I started a family, and then I wanted something. Am I going to continue living that lifestyle? Yeah, it was nice. I get paid in a good job in
mm,
corporate. I get to travel on company expenses, right? So
mm,
I can have I can go on a business trip and then have a side holiday. But then
mm,
I knew that I will not be there to watch my children grow up. I was expecting my first child at that time. So
mm,
that the whole transition thinking, okay, I don't want to have a child and not be in a child's life. I can't imagine
mm,
having that thought. So that why that became my purpose. And I'm sure there's
Right.
a lot of women out there, who did that transition into entrepreneurship, which is, motherhood, a different life already, and a different phase of life, and they want to do the transition. And this is actually what I've observed from some of the for female entrepreneurs that I spoke to, the
Mm.
purpose. So it was like this particular purpose that drove them into go into entrepreneurship. And that was but along the way, because I was pushing for performance, I lost my
Mm.
purpose as well. So first I lost my purpose in terms of corporate. I don't know where I'm going. It's okay, maybe I should change and I go move into entrepreneurship. So driven by that why, that purpose, in the end,
Mm.
I was busy chasing after something. I've lost track of that purpose and why I started in the first place.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The why is so important, which is,
Mhm.
something that we always remind each other in our community why we do what we do, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to those working in a corporate, you know, we are not trying to say that working in a
Mm.
corporate
No.
is there's no purpose, it's always performance, and we're just sharing our experience when
Mm.
we were in our working in corporates. But therefore, it brings us back to the importance of purpose,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, as a company whatever company, whichever company that you are working with, if they have a strong vision and mission,
Mm-hmm.
and sharing about the company's purpose, the business purpose, right? And the purpose is, and your personal purpose is in alignment
Yeah.
with the organization's purpose, then it makes it's totally a different story now, because that will
Mm-hmm.
make your working in the corporate much more meaningful, much more purposeful, because like we said, it's a platform. To me, the organization,
Yeah.
the business, you know, whatever service that you're providing,
Mm-hmm.
is a platform for us to add value to people's life, right? So
Yeah.
whether is it from our own personal business or through a corporate company that you're working with, which also has a purpose and serve
Mm-hmm.
the clients, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to say this, because
Yes.
I when I was like going to the extreme and say, oh, yeah, so entrepreneur um bias.
Yeah, but it is
Yeah.
actually now we're just sharing our experiences. And the thing is that
Yes.
because once the purpose and performance, come together, it's 100% aligned. And it really says a lot about your style of leadership, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the next question, right? Like, has
Mm,
our performance become your purpose, right?
yeah.
Your purpose is only about performance, targets, goals, or is your purpose driving your performance to new heights,
Hmm.
right? Especially like you say, when it comes to leadership.
Yeah.
It applies both in the corporate world, women in the corporate world, as well as female entrepreneurs out in the marketplace.
Hmm.
Yeah. And let's dive a little bit into this. How does, the difference of the leadership versus leadership that's driven by purpose and
Hmm.
leadership that's driven by performance?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So well, I mean, my personal experience on leadership driven by performance, so it's very um objective focused.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not a bad thing when you have a purpose, and it's
Mm.
actually a higher purpose, not purpose that's attached to with some negative connotation, for example. Because it's like, for the style of leadership was actually more performance driven, is like they tend to push the employees
Mm-hmm.
more often than not, what I experienced and heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Experience and also observe that it's actually becoming the style of leadership has become a bit of a, I would say, it's my way of the highway kind of
Mm.
kind of the leadership, because it's so performance driven. So it's like if you don't hit the target, if you don't hit the mark, then you are a failure. Yeah.
Mm.
And then this kind of leadership actually, instead of, you know, leading, and gelling the team, and it's actually making the team demoralized. Yeah. So that's
Mm.
my own experience, and I've actually experienced it that myself during my early parts of my employee time. Yeah.
Yeah. For me personally, I feel that these two, purpose and performance in the area of leadership, they are ingredients
Mm,
that are required for leadership, right? Again, like you mentioned, for those who are just there needs to be a balance, right?
Mm,
Your focus is so much on performance only,
mm,
yeah, then you may end up with the kind of leadership that you have just described.
yeah.
So because whoever is leading has to perform,
Yes.
right? Has to produce results, and people actually follow you because they're seeing that you are producing results,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they're attracted to those who are doing well, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
who are doing well, be it we heard a lot about in especially in the what you call that agency world,
Yeah.
yeah, be it real estate or be it insurance or be it distributorship, the marketing network marketing world, yeah, people are drawn and attracted to leaders that are performing very well,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
But again, that's where we want to bring in, the purpose
Yeah.
component. Yeah. So what is driving your performance? Is it driven by a purpose? And what purpose is that?
Yeah. What
Right.
purpose? That's the thing. That's the distinction, isn't it?
Yes. Again, if your purpose is also to perform, then that's just purely performance driven.
Yeah. And if the purpose is actually just 100% money driven or
Mm,
glory driven, then, then
yes.
that's a totally different story. Yeah.
Yeah. So in our environment, I mean, we do not want. There's nothing. We are not here to say any, pass any judgment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all we are saying here is to bring some awareness,
Mm,
right?
true.
Just check in with yourself. And hey, am I so focused in performance, that I neglected and didn't even think about purpose, or how am I adding value to others, with
Mm,
the services or products, that through the services or products, right, that we
yeah.
are providing. Yeah.
True, 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 true.
So we want to bring to the awareness. We want to create this awareness.
Mm,
Yeah. So that we are not extreme. Yeah. Right. Because people follow you. I mean, we all know John Maxwell, right?
yes.
The mentor of leadership, right? So there, and that there are five levels. There are different levels of leadership.
Mm,
So position, we know that people follow you because they have to, not
yeah.
because they want to,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when it comes to performance based, people follow you because they are seeing that you are doing well, and they want to um be like you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. But the most ultimate goal of leadership is, people respect you, people follow you because they know how much you care, right? So there's different ingredients in that leadership level, right?
Mm, yeah.
The relationship is one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know the five levels of leadership, right, go get John Maxwell,
Donatello's book.
the five levels of leadership. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, really very powerful. It really opened up my perspective,
Mm.
of about all about leadership. But here we want to come back to this performance versus purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I would say that purpose and performance really do come together. But more often than
Mm,
not, people actually tend to separate these two components. They really need to, and then you need to have a certain performance in order to show that you are actually, achieving milestones. End of the day, it is a
mm,
way of keeping track on where you are, and also to celebrate your successes along the way, right? Because when you're hitting your goals, so that is
yes.
important. But that
Mm,
shouldn't be the only driving force for it. And
yeah.
then I remember reading this article on Forbes, and that kind of it gave me an inspiration as well. You see, it
Mm-hmm.
says that purpose the okay, essentially an excerpt. It says core purpose appears to be activating at the high performance intersection of our distinguishing talents and our deepest held values. That's actually what Lilian
Mm,
you have actually mentioned, right? And it is
mm,
our authenticity in service to something larger. Yeah,
mm,
yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, how the our own personal aspirations and a life's purpose, and then when
mm,
it's aligned to the corporate And this is actually where these two just come together and you can actually explode into something really, really powerful. And then that is
Mm-hmm.
actually where powerful leadership is. And according to the article, they have interviewed many CEOs with over 30 years of experience in the field.
Mm-hmm.
CEOs,
Mm-hmm.
it could be people who are appointed CEOs in corporation and CEOs of their own company that they have created,
Mm.
right? That they work very hard to invest and clarify their purpose, so that to
Mm.
understand who and what influence their purpose, and then so that it's most important to challenge the rewarding part of that development of themselves as
Mm.
senior leaders in order to lead, and also to lead with a clear purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really goes down to, again, investing on themselves, and then understanding, the performance where you want to go, and then it's never losing track of that purpose. And that is actually, I would say, it's a deadly combination, for those. Yeah, it is for those. If you want to make an impact and make a dent in this world, right? Purpose
Mm.
driven business. This is actually what this would be the ingredients to do that. To
Mm.
do so.
Yeah. I think, both of us have been coaching and we have come across women who, I would say, it will come to a point, like a crossroad, you
Yeah.
know, like it come to a crossroad where you will think about a purpose.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's all these years. I mean, I can again speak from only my personal experience that, yeah, I was very self-driven. I was very self-driven when I was younger. Um, Not that I'm not now, but the lack of purpose,
Yeah.
the purpose that's bigger than myself,
Mm,
right?
mm.
So when I was younger, when I was very self-driven, it was all about, what can I achieve? It's all the big
Yes.
I.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, sooner or later, I do reach that crossroad or that intersection
Mm.
between I and versus others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this comes with experience. It's a growth journey, I guess.
Mhm.
It's a growth journey. So what we are trying to share here with all these reflections is for those who are younger, who are starting out. The
Mm.
earlier you define your purpose, the earlier you have um how should I put it? The earlier that you discover your
Mm.
purpose, then the whole journey becomes more meaningful and balanced,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we had to go through whatever number of years that we had to, yeah, to come to a point where we were, that's why we're talking so much about purpose.
Mm.
Having a purpose-driven business, like you said, yeah, having a purpose-driven life, right? And it
Mm.
all starts with self,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So self leadership is where we always begin with, which is
Mhm.
why our community is very focused. Not just our community, but our business
Mhm.
is so focused on personal development,
Yeah.
self leadership, right? We're in the business of developing courageous women, right, who has the confidence and clarity in whatever that they're doing.
Mm.
Mm,
True.
yeah.
And I totally agree with you. It is the transitioning from the I to the us,
Mm,
end of the day,
y-
right? So as you
yes.
say, it's like the performance is really me, I, and then
Me, I, myself.
yeah, me, myself, and I. And then after that, you add on with that, with that purpose. And it is actually with the purpose that's actually where you have followers who are going to follow you. And then also
Mm,
with purpose is also for leaders with the right
mm,
purpose, you are also developing future leaders. Not it's just gonna
yep.
not gonna be, just I'm leading the team, they're helping me to achieve my objectives and my goals. But what
Mm,
can I, being a servant leader, end of the day, what can I do,
yes.
for the team, and then to develop more leaders? Because end of the day is that we want to develop leaders. And it's starting from
Yes.
yourself and then to develop
Mm,
more leaders after that. So it is actually,
yeah.
it doesn't just transform, it doesn't just apply to the business or even at work. It applies to also life as well. As a mother,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Mothers are
Mm,
all leaders. So how to be,
mm,
transition from that performance based and purpose based. And then this question can will something that we can also teach our children about
Yeah,
academics as well.
yeah. I think you bring up very, very interesting favorite hot topic. In I mean, as long as you are a mother, whether you're a parent, right? Okay,
Mm,
we don't speak to the men as well. As long
okay.
as you are a parent,
Yeah.
right, you are in leadership role,
Mm, yeah.
automatic by default. you
Yeah.
and and if you're a parent, when it comes to academic, right? I think now they're having their A levels, and I don't know when it's PSLE or O
PSLE is
levels.
already over, but the A levels, I think they are about to be done as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure anymore because my kids are grown up
Yeah.
already. Yeah, so
The university age.
yeah, so I remember those days where I hear parents. Wow, we I don't know whether you remember the kiasu parents season. Those
Oh,
days
that
where
was, yeah, a
the
lot, a
kiasu
lot.
parents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
being
this is
must be
our
in a
local
good
colloquial.
school.
Yes, say our local colloquial, right? The
Yeah.
kiasu parents. Yeah, and you will see it's. I mean, the whole behavior pattern
Mm.
reflects the kiasuism. For okay in English, it's
The
really
fear
very
of
performance.
losing out.
Yeah, fear of losing out, FOMO, right? Yeah, it's FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out, fear of losing out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really very performance based. Yeah,
Mm.
it's always comparing results. How's your kids? Which position they're coming in, what kind of result, are they, what in what percentile? Wow,
Yeah.
I mean, listening to it is so stressful. I can't
Mm.
imagine the poor child.
Yeah.
So what kind of leadership are we advocating at the home front?
Mm. Yeah.
And what kind of children and what kind of mindset are we imparting and nurturing in the home front?
Mm.
Yeah. So I think talking about mindset, okay, that's home front, right?
Yes.
Let,
Yes.
let, let's bring it to the marketplace.
Mm.
Since I mean we're talking about um, leading with courage, right? Lead with
Yeah.
courage in the marketplace. So let's talk about the mindset in terms of leadership in the
Mm.
marketplace.
Mm.
And then I think transitioning, especially for those transitioning from the corporate world and you're stepping out,
Yeah.
right? You're stepping out into the entrepreneurial journey. Yeah. I think physically stepping out is one thing,
Yeah.
kudos, right? But the mindset takes time to renew.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes time to renew. Yeah, just like, I always hear this phrase now. The Israelites, they may have left Egypt, but Egypt has
Yeah.
not left them.
Them.
There's still this slave and mentality, right?
Mm.
So yeah, let's use the last few minutes to talk about the mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's definitely very, very important because as I mentioned earlier, even though those articles, of CEOs with over 30 years of experience, they really invested in themselves,
Mm,
to gain clarity. First, this is actually the first step,
mm,
of awareness, right? That is actually getting themselves mentored, getting themselves
mm,
coached. Because at the end of the day, we always have, as humans, we have blind spots. We have
mm,
blind spots. So we're unable to see all the spots. And then we will need a guide. We will need someone, who's able to see it from a third person's perspective, to
mm,
point us into that right direction. And that is
mm,
actually important. And that is also the reason why we created this the platform for female entrepreneurs, the Her Courage Business Network.
mm,
Yeah, is to actually help our female entrepreneurs, okay, and also employees as well, who want to do the transition, the how not to be stuck in the employee's mindset, and then to transform that, with having the employer's mindset, because the employer mindset when it comes to it's actually working. Yeah, we have been conditioned by society end of the day, right? It's you work and then you get paid at the end of the month. So it's always,
mm.
very
Basically,
performance.
you have a job,
Yeah, you have
right?
a job,
You have
right?
a
So
job.
you rely on the paycheck, and you have this performance driven 100% performance, and
Mm,
that it will only take you this far. But once you are able to open your mind and then to think
mm,
like an entrepreneur, which is actually marrying the two, performance
mm,
and purpose, and then when you
mm,
understand and where is actually the purpose, it will gonna take you further away. And I have the opportunity and also the privilege to be able to work with coaches in the past, to
Mm-hmm.
lead me to where I am here today. And I
Yes.
can't say, much, so much, I can't even continue to say so much, that how important it is to have the mindset correct and having a mentor in your life. And that's
Yes.
also the reason why, we have this platform, to to help female entrepreneurs, even if for those who are thinking of transitioning from the corporate world out, or even if you're actually in the corporate world as well, you can really benefit a lot more from having a mentor. So we have mentorship program with Her Courage Biz Network, right? We
Mm-hmm.
also have coaching opportunities for you, to be able to see your blind spot. It's just like, looking at yourself, that you know how you're planning your life ahead. It's like you are driving a car, right? You need your GPS navigation system, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
having a coach and a mentor is that navigation system for your life. And once you get
Mm-hmm.
that, you know where's the destination. You won't get
Mm-hmm.
lost. Yeah. So that's how I see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I want to add on to this, as
Yes.
in like in the perspective of leadership,
Mm-hmm.
right? Leadership, because whether you are in the corporate world or you are running your business, it's about leadership at the end of the day, right? And in having a employee's mindset, we are
Mm-hmm.
using this term as generically,
Yeah.
but if you are in the corporate world as a leader, you're holding a leadership position,
Mm-hmm.
there is also a difference of how you will perform
Mm.
and how you relate to people if you have this distinction between these two mindsets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like just now you mentioned that we are very conditioned, right,
Mm.
in the society and all that. So the difference between the employee's mindset and the entrepreneur mindset is that one is in short, because I'm running out of time.
Mm.
In short, if I may put it very briefly,
Yeah.
the employee's mindset is more passive,
Mm.
right? It's just waiting for instructions, waiting for to be told what to do. We are waiting for instructions, right?
Yeah.
More passive, yeah. And everything is more laid out for you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The goals, the company. You wait for the leadership.
Yeah.
You wait for your boss. You wait for your supervisor to tell you what to do. That's like a employee's mindset to me, right?
Mm.
That's my definition of an employee's mindset
Yeah.
versus an entrepreneur mindset. An entrepreneur mindset can exist in the leadership of those in the corporate world as well, right?
Mm.
Because you are holding a leadership role and you want to adopt a entrepreneurial mindset, as in
Yep.
like you see the company as like your own,
Mm.
right? You take ownership and interest of your
Yes.
company, like how the entrepreneurs are doing. They take
Mm-hmm.
ownership of the business, right? So as a leader in a corporate world, you also want to adopt this entrepreneurial mindset
Yeah.
to see, um, yeah, and therefore your leadership will be very different, right? How
Mm-hmm.
you operate in your corporate world will be very different. How you lead your team will be very different, yeah,
Yeah.
versus having an employee's mindset versus an entrepreneurial mindset.
That's
So
true.
that's the distinction that I really want to
Mm.
highlight here. Yeah, because regardless of wherever arena you are operating from, it's the mindset that determines, that drives our behaviors,
Mm-hmm.
isn't
Mm-hmm.
it?
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And also, that also, how we lead, end of the day, has got something to do with also our own personality, because our personality
Mm,
will affect our leadership, which is actually a topic we're going to be talking about following week. So remember to
right.
tune in to hear about this.
Yes, yes, yeah. There's a lot of peas that we are throwing in here. Right. So yeah, I mean that was a good conversation, right? We
Mhm.
hope that through this conversation, we help to create some awareness for you to do a self check in, right? Take stock of where you are right now. What kind of mindset are you adopting? What kind of behaviors are you exhibiting, right? So we are coming to the end of the year,
Yeah.
right? This is already in the mid-November. So do
Mhm.
take stock of and evaluate your life, your business, right? And most important thing, I feel one of the very important factor right, in growing our business together is to be part of a community.
Yeah.
Right. Don't do this alone. Please don't do
Mm.
this alone. As much as for those who say I'm a lone ranger,
Yeah.
but if you want to grow, we really want to, do business and do life together
Mm.
with others. Yeah. So do join our her network, her Courage Business Network, right, which is happening on the 7th of December.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We have Karen,
Yes.
our co-founder, who is going to be sharing her knowledge and experience about branding, all about branding, brand identity, brand message. What's that? All that branding all about,
Mm.
right? So come learn from her, right? Um, and this month, this month at the end of the month, what do we have here? Actually,
Yeah, at the end of
yes,
the month, for our community, another community, which is Women of Courage Asia, where surprisingly very good. We have Lilian, who will be sharing her a story of courage about life at the crossroad, right?
mm,
Yeah, and then we
yes,
also have Karen as well. This is the first time she'll be sharing her story about transitioning, and we find
mm,
that, yeah, it is really really important, because our life is always ever changing, and then how
yep,
her life has actually evolved, and this is the first time she's sharing her story publicly, and I really
yep,
want to share this with you, because Women of Courage Asia is actually a self-funded community where we
mm,
use this to support other women, because at the end of the day, how we want to lead, as women, we also want to be able to give back to the society, and that's also one of the core values for her Courage Business Network, because HER means honor, empathy, and responsibility. So this is where the R comes in, right? Responsibility to the community and to the environment. So yes,
mm,
so do log on to and get your exclusive online seat, because it's going to be a safe place. This is not going to be broadcast to any public arena. So you're going to
mm,
be in via Zoom. It's a safe
yes,
place for you to come in, to experience and to feel the energy of how when women come together, magical things really, really happen. So to sign up
yes,
to register for your seat, okay, for this invite private seat, you log on to HTTPS, okay, and then just type Women of Courage,
mm,
WOMEN of courage, COURAGE. You don't have to do www, just Women of Courage, one word, .asia. Remember, it's
yeah,
women of courage .asia, not .com. Yes.
yes. And it's women, not woman, yeah?
Yeah.
Women
Mm,
with a E, yes, because we are a community
yes.
of courageous women
Mhm,
to come and immerse in the atmosphere and environment and the energy of what courage feels like.
mhm.
Yeah, get yourself a dose of courage and confidence. Yeah, in our monthly empowerment meeting.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm last but not least, I
Yeah.
must share this, yeah, because I'm very excited about it that we are going to do this again, right? We are going
Mm.
to have our Transform with Courage Bootcamp
Mhm.
that is happening next April, right?
Yes.
Transform with Courage Bootcamp. So don't miss that as well. Yeah. If you want to find out, I think the link is already in the caption as well,
Mhm.
right? If not, you can just go to classliving.com.sg. Right, all our programs are inside there.
Yeah.
The Class Living is a social enterprise, so
Mm.
we are here to support women to develop courageous women leaders, right? So all our programs are geared and custom designed uh, towards helping women to
That's right.
live out a life of courage, right? So yeah, so visit classliving.com.sg, and we will see you next week, right? Same time, same channel here. This is Lilian and
And Carol here,
Carol.
signing off.
Bye.